What's up, Inland Empire? Jessica Q, your host. And, What's Up, Inland Empire is all about bringing you guys local leaders, resources, and fun events to check out in the Inland Empire. And I've got a really exciting, fun event for you guys. We're going to be talking to Josh Fanopoulos. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
And he's coming to us through Zoom. So this is our first Zoom podcast interview. So I'm excited to test this out. But Josh, welcome to our show. We're going to be talking about racing today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. So first, before we start talking to Josh, I want to tell you guys about this event coming up. So it is Food and Fast Cars. So it's going to be a foodie event with two crazy wild races. One of them is the Street Stock Challenge, which Josh actually won last year's challenge. And he's going to also be racing this year. And there is the West Coast Outlaw Figure 8 Championship, which, this type of race is so crazy because it's on a figure 8 track and these cars literally almost zoom and hit each other. Sometimes they do hit each other. It's pretty intense, but it's going to be a fun-filled day, November 18th, and that is a Saturday at the Orange Show Speedway. But let's talk to Josh and get to know Josh. So Josh, how's it going? It looks like you're in your car.
Yep. Try to find somewhere quiet.
There you go. Well, welcome to the show. Now, let's talk about the Street Stock Challenge. So this is one of the races that's going to be at the Food and Fast Cars. And you're racing. What kind of car are you racing? Tell everybody.
So my car's it's an old Monte Carlo turned into a street stock, if you will.
Okay. What year is it?
So it's early 80s. Mine's actually an 83 Monte Carlo.
Okay. And obviously it's not just like a regular Monte Carlo. You've done some stuff to it. Can you tell us about how you've modified your vehicle?
Yeah. So, all of us are given a big fat rule book that we have to kind of follow and abide by. And, you try and find the gray area of the rule book, if you will. But, about the only thing that's still Monte Carlo is the frame, the chassis, if you will, the roof and the firewall. The rest of it is all, race car, if you will. It's all been modified or manufactured in some way or another to
exhaust,
make
intake,
it turn left.
Right?
Yeah. The full, there's nothing stock, outside of the frame and roof, firewall. It's we still run a Chevy small block motor that would have came stock in those, but they're far from stock.
Okay.
And then, we run like a Ford rear end in the cars and, Ford brakes on the back and Chevy control arms up front. And, so we try and find the best of all makes, if you will, to make the car stop well and go well.
American made though. Because you said Ford,
yes.
Chevy, so you guys stick to the American made.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And so I'm sure this is not a cheap hobby to be involved with. So how much would you say you've invested into your Monte Carlo?
Well,
or are you not allowed to say? Is your wife going to hear this? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that would probably be suicide. I would say that if I was to sell the car, I would ask 20 grand for it.
Okay. 20 grand.
And I would not be getting back everything that's invested by any means, but you don't put all the money in it at once. I call it buying tenths because we're always chasing the clock, right? So we're trying to get a tenth better. And when you first start off, tenths are cheap. They're $100 here and there. And as you get towards, the front of the pack, the tenths are thousands. And then sometimes just unobtainable. You just get lucky or, you turn an extra turn in a weight jack and you found another tenth. You didn't have to buy it at all. You'd already bought it, just didn't know. But, I guess it's kind of, you have to improve with your car, right? So as your car gets better, you as a driver have to get better as well. So to utilize what you bought.
Right, exactly. And when you say like a tenth for, people that don't necessarily race, you mean like tenth of a second? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yep, a
literally
tenth
like
of a second.
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's cool though. That's so much fun. So really quick, we're gonna go to commercial break and we'll be right back.
Do you need help reaching more customers? At NB Media, we're a full-service advertising agency offering social media marketing, Hulu, Spotify, billboards, photo shoots, radio, TV, and websites. To see what else we offer, visit www.nb.media or call 951-777-1947.
All right, we are back. Thank you so much to our sponsors for making this possible. And so we're here with Josh and we're talking about Food and Fast Cars, the upcoming event that is going to be at the Orange Show Speedway on November 18th. And so Josh is going to be racing. And are you excited?
I am. It's a fun track.
Do you feel like you've improved since last year?
Well, I hope so because I had a little bit of luck on my side with winning last year. And it's my first time ever going to that track last year. And so I tried to get all the practice I could in the time to practice. And, so you're trying to figure out, you as a driver, figure out the track. And then you got to figure out how to improve yourself and the car on the track to kind of make one, a team with your car and whoever's helping you work on your car. Last year I went down there kind of just on a whim to be fun. A friend of mine that lives here in Idaho, he's from that track. It was his home track, and he kind of talked me into going. And so we went down there, and I brought 2 cars of mine and had a friend driving it. And so we were pretty, I had no crew.
You had no crew.
I had my then 14-year-old son. And that was pretty much my crew. And, there was a guy by the name of Dean Wilson here in Idaho that's a longtime racer. He's in his 80s. And he was down there and he tried to help me out as well. And I had to find a spotter of a guy, that is local down there and to spot for me. So I was pretty unprepared, if you will. So I hope to go down there far more prepared this year.
Okay, well, I don't think the preparation affected anything because you won, and that's awesome. So it's cool to know.
Yeah.
I think that's inspiring to know, like, hey, just if you believe in something, just get out there and do it. And so we didn't even talk about that. You're in Idaho right now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep, I'm in Idaho.
And okay, and so do you just drive the car down, or do you have like a trailer to bring it down?
Yeah, so I load it up in a trailer and we'll haul it down, and it's about a 14-hour drive if we don't hit any snow on the way from here to there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a journey in itself right there. So
that's right.
They say if you want to be a millionaire racing, you got to start out a billionaire because we sure know how to waste money.
Yeah, it sounds about right. It sounds like it's a lot of money you have to invest in the beginning. Yeah, definitely. Or the whole time. I mean, throughout the whole time that you race, right? And then training yourself. How long have you been racing?
I've been racing for 6 years.
Okay.
So I'm pretty new to the sport. But I've done very well for myself in those 6 years, and I kind of contribute that to surrounding myself with the right people, and I guess I'm pretty good at it because I was easy to find people to help, and we've accomplished a whole lot in 6 years.
In 6 years, yeah. So you've won other races as well, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So we've actually won. I've won 73 races.
What?
And I've
73.
I've got a five-time champion in the street stock, and then a one-time champion in a modified. And we've even, I kind of feel like I'm bragging about myself in a sense, but we even got called up to go we've got to run the ARCA regional series several times throughout the U.S. as well, that's the next level up from your short track racing. That's the car, traveling series.
Yeah.
So not Cup, not Xfinity or trucks, but it's one right below those. And so I've got to go. I've been to every coast and in between racing those, which has been pretty fun. So taught me a lot. And,
no.
I feel have the most fun right there in a street stock though, still to this day.
So, yeah. And what got you into racing? What made you say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go fix up a car and fix up my Monte Carlo and start racing.
So the short version of a kind of a crazy story is that my brother-in-law called me back when my nephew was 11, and he said, hey, they're letting kids race at Meridian Speedway. I want to put my son in a car. Will you help me build it? And I own auto repair shops. And so I said, yeah, bring it by. So I built this car or helped build this car and went out there and kind of watched them running it. And I was like, man, that looks like a lot of fun. So I bought what was, an old retired car that had been sitting in the field for a while and started putting it together. And I just been hooked ever since. I went from that to I have 16 race cars right now.
Wow, that's a lot. That's like what, like 2 a year or more?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's close, but yeah, it's crazy. We go run 2 or 3 different cars in the same night racing, and it's fun, but it's exhausting, and but it's, I don't know, I got hooked. It's the people that surround racing, they turn it into a family. It's the camaraderie and the everything that goes along with just actually racing. Is the rest of it is better than being on the track racing. The friendships you make and the bonds you build it's pretty cool. The people you get to meet along the way and other tracks, and
it's a racing community.
It's pretty cool.
Definitely, and especially going all over the country, so you get to meet people from all over, and that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it's been pretty cool.
We're really excited to have you here in the IE, and we wish you so much luck on November 18th. So any last words before we sign off?
Man, get everybody, come out to the races. People that have never been, they need to check it out. It's a lot of fun. And those figure 8 cars, if you've never been to one of those races, you need to go. That's pretty impressive. Those guys have way more, they're way braver than I am. Those guys are crazy.
Really,
and that's a fun race to watch.
It's super crazy. And it's so much fun to watch too. Well, thank you so much, Josh.
Absolutely.
We can't wait to meet you in person. And to you guys, don't miss it. It's Food and Fast Cars, 2 races, a foodie event, and it's going to be insane. It's going to be a great time. So that is Saturday, November 18th. We'll make sure to include the link to buy tickets. And we'll see you guys there. And thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. I'll see you next time.